Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, and today I'll be reading a multi-character listener by me. So let's get into it. Kokushibo. Not much can make him jealous, if you were to be honest, and it's difficult to get a reaction out of him. But it seems like he knew the way. He knew the way to many things. He knew the way into his heart, and surely only he would be able to hurt it or make him upset in this way. Except he didn't really mean it. It was an accident, and you had no idea that he was being bothered by this. It all started when you were visiting a friend, and you had stayed there until very late at night. He doesn't care when you come home. He just cares that you were in a friend's home, late at night, past midnight, and you were alone, just you and him. What was he supposed to think? Even if it wasn't about him thinking that way, if it were anyone else who knows this, surely they would have some thoughts, and he would not be alone in this. He felt awful, thinking about things this way, and this closed-minded perspective, but it was the only way you could look at it, and that's why he felt extremely jealous, to the point where when you came home, he held you tightly within his arms, looking at you. Wyan, please, don't do that again. Don't do what? I've got no idea what you're talking about. Next time, take a friend with you, or don't stay there so late. I can't handle it. My heart can't handle it, Wyan. I trust you, but it still hurts, thinking about it, and knowing that two of you are alone, and that you could be here with me instead. Besides, surely you could hang out another time, right? You look at him, and you realize you've never truly seen him this way. And maybe you have some opinions on this, but you just held him within your arms. Alright, just calm down. Don't worry about it. We'll talk about things, both me and you. But right now, it seems like you need a hug. So let's cuddle, okay? You would comfort him, and then you would talk things out later. Muichiro. Muichiro can be absolutely sweet, and very adorable as well, in the way that he did absolutely anything. So even his jealousy could be quite cute, to a point, of course. You didn't realize that you would ever see this side of him, but you just happened to see it when the two of you were at a party, and you just happened to be so close with your friend. A friend who was also very touchy for some reason. It irked him. It made him extremely uncomfortable, and he had no idea what to do about it. He kept looking at you at first, hoping that you would get the hint, but it seemed like it did not work perfectly, and there was nothing he could do about it. So, instead of just looking at you at one point, he just grabbed you. Moyan, let's get out of here, he said, taking you outside of the room, and some were secluded. You looked at him, shocked. He had just pulled you away, when you were right there with your friends. You felt embarrassed and humiliated. What was he doing? But then, before you could even get a word out, he cupped your face in his hands and leaned in, his lips pressing into your own. And that's when you knew that maybe you don't mind this. Maybe some things took priority over others. And that meant that this thing that he was doing right now was surely entertaining enough that you could actually ignore what he did earlier. The whole pulling you away from the party thing. It was not that important, at least in comparison to what the two of you were doing here. You could come back to them later. But right now, you felt like you were enjoying your time with him. Much, much more. Tengen. Tengen wasn't really a jealous man. Far from it. So you were surprised to see him being jealous for once. It was really something to witness. Not something that you were upset about particularly, but something you were definitely surprised by. You had actually gone out to hang out with some friends, and it seemed like you forgot to get back early. And when you came back, you were talking about how everything went, talking about one of your male friends, who was actually very fun and someone who you enjoyed hanging out with. And you did not notice his silence, or the way he refused to comment, the way that he seemed to be so jealous over what you were saying. And that's when you realized something was wrong. Wyon, you're here with me now, when you've been gone for a couple of hours. Instead of talking to me about him, I would much rather enjoy my time with you, he said. And that's when you realized how really was taking things. And you nodded, blushing brightly, as you wrapped your arms around him. I'm sorry, Tengen, I didn't mean to make you upset. I'm not. I'm something else. But we'll talk about it later. For now, I want to be able to enjoy myself with you, without talking about anyone else, he said. He was far more pouty than usual, and more intense. But you kind of enjoyed it, and the two of you did spend some fun time together. And you talked to him afterwards, telling him that there was nothing for him to get jealous over. This was a friend they've known for years, and if you had wanted anything with him, then you surely would have had it. But you wanted Tengen. You chose him, and you love him most of all. You would never pick anyone over him. So that's why he's got nothing to worry about. And he's happy with that. Holding you within his arms. And feeling grateful. He knows that you would never cheat on him. He just worries other people could take advantage of what you would consider friendship. And he hopes that never happens. But what matters most is that he has you. And you love him more than anyone else.